I hope that you are well, and I also hope that you are having a good day so far. Today we'll be doing our grade 4 English lesson on coordinating conjunctions. And before we start, we're going to log on to aplusstudents.ca. Once you've logged on to aplusstudents.ca with our username as well as our password, and then we're going to select the subject of English Language Arts. All right. So we are now by the chapter of coordinating conjunctions. So our chapter is coordinating conjunctions. Our subject is English Language Arts, grade 4. And the lessons that we are going to be focusing on under the chapter of coordinating conjunctions is to identify coordinating conjunctions and to use coordinating conjunctions. All right, so a coordinating conjunction, right, or basically a conjunction, is it's used to connect words, right? So coordinating conjunction is used to connect words, either to connect phrases or we can connect simple sentences. And some of the common coordinating conjunctions that we usually or mainly use are words like and, but, or, and so. Those are the most common coordinating conjunctions. All right, so now we're going to go over each one of the coordinating conjunctions. Like, how do we use and, how do we use but, how do we use oh, or, and so, right? So we can use the word and. So we can use the word and to connect words, phrases, or sentences that go together or that's alike. So we can use and to connect words, phrases, or sentences that go together or that's alike. It's like saying it's this and that, right? I'm doing this and I'm doing that. Me and you, for example, like both of us, it's alike or it goes together. And if we look at an example, right, it says, my sister is going to France and Spain this summer, which means that she's going to both of those places, right, which is to France and she's going to Spain. So it goes together. I have a pet dog, and my cousin does too, which means that both my cousin and I have pet dogs. All right. So basically, if we use the word and, right, it is to connect words, it's to use phrases, and and it basically also goes together, right? Or they are alike. Then we can use the word but, right? And in order for us to use the word but is to show contrast. My brother loves apples, but hates apple pie. Same with me. I love apples, but I don't like apple pie. Right? And they shows the contrast. It's like my brother loves apple but hates apple pie. I usually walk to school, but my dad drove me today. So that is basically how we use the word but. We use but to show contrast, and it's like saying my brother loves apples but I hate apple pie. I usually walk to school, but my dad drove me today. All right. And then we also have the coordinating conjunction, which is to, or, sorry, or. And we use the coordinating conjunction or to show a choice. It's either this or it's that. So it's either this or it's that. That is how we use the word or. Or is to show basically a choice. All right. I don't know why I can't see um our convers. Now I need to go into. I need to now go into your conversation. Yes, we are going to do the test, guys. I don't mind me going here to this thing here, this page where I am looking at your conversations because I can't seem to open the conversation to see what you guys are chatting. Right? So sorry, I'm going to. Yes, so the question, what is a contrast when we use but? It's like, oh gosh. It's like saying it's almost like it's something that is different, right? It's like it's different from something else. That is like a contrast. I do apologize for the late response because now I need to constantly come back to this page in order to look at your messages. Yeah, it's like it's a difference, yes, because yeah, it says if we go back to the if we go back to the chat, it says my brother loves apples but hates apple pie, right? It's like different, it's like a difference, it's like different to one another, right? So it is different from something else. That is the simplest meaning that I can give you. It's different from something, yes, exactly. Yes, another question. You have another question? Is it Simran? Guys, I do apologize for starting late. The system was off for the system was offline, and so it only went back on, let's say now, which was your six, just before your 6 o'clock. So the system was off, and with the other class, I didn't even teach on A plus students. I had to teach on a different. I only had to teach on the whiteboard. I hope that answers the question. So now the system, even yesterday, the system was offline. But I do apologize for that, eh? So thanks for understanding. All right. Okay. So we're going to continue, right? So we said that um, we use and to connect words or phrases, right? It goes together. We use but to show a contrast. It's like to show the difference between these two sentences, right? Or let's say the differences between these two phrases. And then we use or, right? We use or to show a choice, right? It's either this or it is that. It's either black or it is white. You can either get ice cream or you can get um juice. That's an example. You can either get the dress or you can get the jean, right? So it's like a it's like a choice, right? So it says today we can go to the beach or to the park, meaning that we need to choose one of it. It's either we're going to the beach or we're going to the park, all right? Another example says you can finish your homework now or you can finish it later. So it's either finish the homework now or finish it later, meaning that you have a choice, right? And that is what or means, or how we can use or when it comes to coordinating conjunctions. And then so, right? We use so to tell that something happens because of something else. It's like saying, I forgot to set my alarm, so I was late for school. I forgot to set my alarm, so I was late for school, right? Or it's like me saying, our the A plus system, A plus student system was offline, so I was late for our session, right? So that is basically it means that it means that something happens because of something else, right? I missed the bus because I woke up late, right? Or I forgot my homework book, or let's say I forgot to, or let's say, yeah, I forgot my homework book. Is that the sentence? No. Mm-mm. Or I had to stay for detention, so I did my homework. Yeah, is that a sentence? I had to stay for detention, so I did my homework. Yeah. All right. So any questions before we continue, before we go to our test? No problem. Any questions before we go to our test? All right, so now we're going to aplusstudents.ca. We said our chapter is coordinating conjunctions, and the first lesson that we're going into is to identify coordinating conjunctions. And we see the most common coordinating conjunctions are words such as and, but, or, and so, and it is used to connect words, phrases, and simple sentences, right? Those are conjunctions. All right, look at if we look at the sentence, it says, I would come over, but I must do my chores. What is the coordinating conjunction within that sentence? I would come over, but I must do my chores. So, what is the coordinating conjunction within that sentence? So we need to choose the coordinating conjunction. Select the coordinate. I would come over, but I must do my chores. What is the coordinating conjunction within that sentence? All right. So if we were to choose the correct answer, then we would say, but is our coordinating conjunction within that sentence, right? But. Okay, here it says Laura felt anxious, so she took some deep breaths. Laura felt anxious, so she took some deep breaths. What is the coordinating conjunction within that sentence? And if we were to choose the correct one, we would say it is so. Something happened because of something else, right? All right, now we're going to our test where we are going to identify the coordinating conjunction. Coordinating conjunction and, but, or so. All right, so select the coordinating conjunction. My aunt and uncle saw giraffes in Serengeti National Park. I'm not even sure if I'm saying the word correct. So my aunt and uncle saw giraffes in Serengeti National Park. What is the coordinating conjunction within that sentence? Is it and or is it in? And or in. And if we were to choose the correct coordinating conjunction, then we will say it is and, right? Joining those two goes together. My aunt and uncle. So and is correct. So well done. I would come over, but I must do my chores. What is the coordinating conjunction? Is it but or is it do? But or do. And if we were to select our coordinating conjunction, we would say it is but or number one. Well done. But is correct. Shows contrast, shows a difference. We can choose happiness or we can choose to be unhappy. Or we can choose happiness or we can be unhappy. So you have a choice to be happy or you have a choice but to be unhappy. Is it or we? Our coordinating conjunction or we. Or we. And if we were to choose the correct answer, then we would say it is or, right? It is this or it is that. It is your choice. Abe smiled at the woman, but he could not understand her. Abe smiled at the woman, but he could not understand her. Is it but or is it he? But or he? So if we were to select the coordinating conjunction, it would be but. All right. The magician was a funny performer, and his tricks were amazing. So, but. So the magician was a funny performer, and his tricks were amazing. So the coordinating conjunction, is it and or is it his? Yes, I have a dog. All right, and if we were to choose the correct one, we would say and, right? So and is the correct coordinating conjunction. All right, so now we're going to use coordinating conjunctions, right? And remember we said um when we basically showed how to use either and, but, or so, we said we can use and to connect words, phrases, or sentences that go together or that are alike. But shows a contrast. And remember, we said contrast is like showing like a difference between these two phrases, or is to show a choice. It's either this or that. And we use so to tell that something happens because of something else. It's like I broke the window, so I got a beating, right? So you got a beating because you broke the window. So that is how we use those coordinating conjunctions, which is and, but, or so. And remember, there are more coordinating conjunctions, but the most common ones that we mainly use are and, but, or so, especially for our level, right? All right, so before we go on to our test, we're going to complete the sentence with the best conjunction. My dog Teddy sleeps in my room. My sister's room. So my dog sleeps in my room. My sister's room. What is the coordinating conjunction that we are going to add within that sentence, or to best show the conjunction? We need to complete the sentence with the best conjunction. Are we going to say my dog Teddy sleeps in my room and my sister's room, but my sister's room, or my sister's room, or so my sister's room? Which one is correct? Remember, we must either use the conjunction which is and, we're either going to use and, but, or so to add within that sentence, to complete the sentence. All right. Remember, if we can say, yeah, right, that my dog sleeps in my room, it's almost like the dog has a choice, or my sister's room. But okay, we can also say, and my sister's room, because then it shows that it's either the dog sleeps in my room or the dog sleeps in my sister's room, right? But I think it's basically we just use the conjunction or, right? Because then it shows a choice. So we're going to go with or. There we have it. My dog sleeps in my room or my sister's room, right? Because it shows that the dog has a choice between, it shows a choice between those two phrases. We will pick blueberries, grapes, depending on the season. We will pick blueberries, grapes, depending on the season. All right. I'm not even sure if you guys are responding. All right. So it is going to be or, right? So we will pick blueberries or grapes depending on the season. Because remember, you have a choice. Depending on the specific season, it's either you're going to pick blueberries if it's in season or grapes if it is in season. Now we're going to our test. Rake the leaves from the lawn. So use a blower instead, or do we say or use a blower instead? We need to complete the sentence with the best coordinating conjunction. Rake the leaves from the lawn. Do we say so, or do we say or use a blower instead? What is the correct coordinating conjunction that we must use to complete that sentence? All right, then if we were to choose the correct one, we can say rake the leaves from the lawn or use a blower instead, right? She will talk to us about honesty. Do we say so good manners or do we say and good manners? Which one is the correct one? So or and? She will talk to us about honesty, so good manners, or do we say and good manners? All right, so if we were to choose the correct conjunction, we will say she will talk to us about honesty and good manners, meaning that she's going to be speaking to us about both of that, being honest as well as having good manners. So that is what and means. It means that it goes together, right? So well done. And is correct. The climate is hot at the Grand Canyon. Do you say so take plenty of water, or do we say or take plenty of water? The climate is hot at the Grand Canyon. Do we say so take plenty of water, or do we say or take plenty of water? What is the correct coordinating conjunction? All right, so if we were to choose the correct one, we will say the climate is hot at the Grand Canyon, so take plenty of water, right? So well done. So is correct. Will you eat corned beef and cabbage on St. Patrick's Day? Or do we say, will you eat corned beef but cabbage on St. Patrick's Day? Class will be done at 45. I think it's 6:45. So will you eat corned beef and cabbage on St. Patrick's Day? Or do we say, will you eat corned beef but cabbage on St. Patrick's Day? And if we were to choose the correct coordinating conjunction, they will choose option one, which is and. So well done. And is correct. Mrs. Zimmerman, Mrs. Zimmerman teaches history and she would rather teach English. Or do we say Mrs. Zimmerman teaches history, but she would rather teach English? Which one is correct? And or but? Mrs. Zimmerman teaches history and she would rather teach English. Or do we say Mrs. Zimmerman teaches history, but she would rather teach English? All right, so if we were to choose the correct one, we would choose but. B-U-T, not B-U-T-T. All right, let's do one more and then we are done for the day. A baby kangaroo grows. Do we say so, eats in its mother's pouch, or do we say and eats in its mother's pouch? A baby kangaroo grows, so eats in its mother's pouch, or do we say a baby kangaroo grows and eats in its mother's pouch? Which one is correct? Option one, which is so, or option two, which is and. All right, and if we were to choose the correct one, we would choose and, right? All right, so well done. All right, so that is the end of our lesson on coordinating conjunctions, right? We said coordinating conjunctions are words that either joins phrases or joins sentences, right? And our most common coordinating conjunctions are words such as and, but, or so. And is used to either join, it's basically to show that things go together, but shows contrast or difference, or it's like a choice. It's either this or that. And we use so, right? Because something happens because of something else. All right, so that is the end of our lessons, grade 4. Thank you very much for joining the class, and I really hope that you're going to have a good evening further. Goodbye.